So welcome to battle report number 13, where the Skaven meet the adventurers in a special battle report. Due to the dense fog, not the whole warband will fight in the game. Only one hero and one henchman group chosen randomly will start the game. At later stages, reinforcements might arrive. So beginning the game for the Skaven, in the heroes section, Tholk the Assassin Adept himself. He's got a helmet, a set of light armor, a dagger, a sword, a sling, and he got battle scars, so he causes fear. And in the henchman section we have 4 giant rats. So for the adventurers we have only 2 warriors. In the hero section we got Amari the priest. He is equipped with a set of light armor and 2 hammers. His spell is Soul Fire, so on a 9 he can inflict 1 strength 3 hit on every opponent within 4 inches. And in the henchman section we get Hubi the Zealot, who's only equipped with 2 daggers. So this is the table we will play on today, and we will play a special Halloween scenario today. As you can see, we have this Morrstone Monolith in the middle of the table. So this is the centerpiece, and the warbands have to try to chop off a piece of Morrstone from this centerpiece and bring it over to that table edge. But if they do so, evil creatures will appear. All over the board you can see these pumpkin patches. So if a model begins or ends its movement near one of these patches, it can search them and find a trick or threat. So either it gets something or maybe it could die. So as we have dense fog in this scenario, this will make shooting more difficult. So if you shoot at a target that is more than 4 inches away, the ballistic skill is reduced by 1, and furthermore every 2 inches. But the fog does not only make shooting more difficult, it also affects the movement. So if you want to move more than 4 inches, you have to roll on a d6. On a 3+, you are not affected by the fog, but on a 1 to 2, you have to roll on a table to see what happens. There will be no route test, and a warband wins if the opponent can't get any models on the table. So the Skaven have won the roll off and will choose a side and deploy their forces first. So the Skaven have chosen this side of the table and set up their men. So the leader in the middle, flanked by the giant rats. As the giant rats are animals, they can neither search the pumpkin patches nor can they chop off Morrstone from the monolith. So the adventurers are here on the opposite, in the middle of the table, with Hubi the Zealot and Amari the priest. As the first and second row were draw, the third row decides in favor of the adventurers, who will start the game. In the first turn, Hubi is searching the pumpkin patch, and on a 6 he gets a threat. He gets battering crunches, so he gets toughness +1, but on a roll of 4 it will only be until the end of the game. Meanwhile, Murray the priest, he's storming forward. On a roll of 6, he can run safely towards the monolith. The Skaven all make their run tests, but one poor giant rat. So on a 1 he fails, and on a 4 he runs against a wall and is stunned. The rest of the pack is moving forward towards the monolith. Amari the priest, he marches on, and on a 6 he safely runs towards the monolith and is the first to reach it. Meanwhile, Hubi, he fails his run test, and on a 5 he's lost in the fog and he moves 4 inches into a random direction. As Amari has reached the monolith, the first evil creature appears. So on a roll of 1 it's only 1, which is placed 8 inches in a random direction. So the zombies have a couple of special rules. They cause fear, they may not run but still make a normal attack. They are immune to psychology and to poison, and they know no pain. So a stunt result on the injury chart will only count as knocked down. So as you noticed here, we made a mistake, but only noticed it in the middle of the second game. The zombies here in our game have a weapon skill of 3 instead of 2. This is due to a mistake by copying the stats on the unit cards. So during the whole game, they will fight as super ninja zombies with weapon skill 3. The giant rat goes from stunned to gun to ground. Then here in the middle, the Assassin Adept makes his run test and runs towards the monolith to chop a piece off. The 2 giant rats flanking him just make a normal movement. The other giant rat makes the run test and passes also the fear test and goes into close combat with the first zombie. In close combat, the giant rat hits the zombie, wounds it and instantly takes it out of action. But just after the first zombie is slain on a roll of 3, 2 new creatures appear on the board. So first turn for the zombies, as they are within 8 inches of a living creature, they have to test if they attack. On a 4+, they attack the target. So this zombie, he attacks the priest on a 6. The other zombie down here, he only got a 2, so he moves 4 inches in a random direction. In the close combat here, no fear tests needed, as both cause fear. The attacker strikes first, but he fails to hit, as does Amari the priest in return. Hubi makes his run test on a 6 and runs quickly forward to come to help to his priest. The priest in the close combat, he first tries his spell but fails it on a 6. Then he attacks the zombie with the 2 hammers. He hits once, he wounds once and gets him to ground. Tholk tries to run away with the weirdstone shard he got, but he misses his run test on a 2 and on a 6 he can well run, but he's hit by falling rubble and he's gone to ground. The rest of the rats, they make a normal movement of 4 inches, so no tests needed for them. The first zombie, he's more than 8 inches away, so he just moves randomly 4 inches in a random direction. The other zombie, he just stood up, but the priest, he hits him twice, he wounds him once, and again takes him to ground, as the zombies can't be stunned. Hubi the Zealot again makes his run test and runs forward. Amari the priest, he tries again his spell and again fails, but he's more lucky with his hammer. He gets 1 hit, 1 wound and takes the zombie out of action. The Assassin Adept makes his run test and moves 6 inches forward. He will leave the board next turn and secure the first weirdstone shard for the Skaven. The giant rats, they all make a 4-inch movement. So only 1 zombie at the board at the moment. On the 3 he doesn't attack, so he moves again 4 inches randomly in a direction. Hubi the Zealot makes a 4-inch movement towards the monolith to chop off a piece of weirdstone. In the same time, Amari the priest, he makes his 4-inch movement towards the table edge to get off with 1 piece of weirdstone he already chopped off. As Hubi tries to chop off his piece of weirdstone, on roll of 6, 3 new creatures appear on the board. The Assassin Adept makes it off the table and secures the first piece of weirdstone shard for the Skaven. He's replaced by the next hero, Tholk, the Night Runner. He is equipped with a dagger, a club and a sling, and he's got nervous condition. So he runs on to the board. When you come on the board, there's no run test needed. and the giant rats, they make a normal movement of 4 inches. So quite turn for the zombies, as only one was within 2 inches of some fresh meat, but he failed his test, and so he walks away and doesn't find his prey. Amari the priest, he makes his run test and is on his way to escape with the first redstone shard for the witch hunters. Hubi the zealot, he fails his run test. He still can run, but he runs in the barrel, and on a 4 he is stunned. The Skaven stream forward to get more wheelstone. The Night Runner, he runs forward, as does the giant rat at his left. This giant rat makes the run test and tries to attack the zombie, but doesn't make the fear test. The same for this rat. And the last giant rat, it fails the run test, but on an 8 he sees light and he moves 4 inches in the chosen direction. Finally, some fresh meat for the zombies, as these 2 zombies, they see their target and attack it. The poor giant rat is hit by both zombies, both critical hits, and it is taken out of action. The other zombie down here, he doesn't see his prey, so he just moves randomly 4 inches towards the gate here. And the last zombie over here also doesn't see his prey and just moves 4 inches slowly forward. Amari the priest, he makes his run test and successfully runs out of the board, securing the first redstone shard for the witch hunters. At the same time, a new hero appears on the table, Kurt the witch hunter. He's equipped with a helmet, light armor, a dagger, a sword, a crossbow, and he has the ability quick shot. Meanwhile, the zealot, he's gone from stunned to gun to ground. The first giant rat wants to attack one of the zombies. It makes its run test but fails the fear test, so stands still. The other 2 giant rats just move forward, and the night runner, he tries to sneak away to the monolith. The zombies continue their feast, as the 2 zombies here, they make their attack roll and each one attacks a giant rat. The first giant rat makes its fear test, but it is hit by the zombie, it is wounded and taken out of action. The second rat fails its fear test, but the zombie can't hit it, and in return the rat can't hit back. The other zombie over here, he fails his attack test and moves 4 inches into this direction. And over here, the zombie is attacking the poor zealot that has been gunned to ground, but it fails to wound it, as the zealot has a toughness of 4. Kurt, the witch hunter, makes his run test and also passes his fear test, and attacks the zombie to help the zealot, but with his 2 attacks he can't hit the zombie. In return, the zombie tries to strike back on the zealot, but also fails to hit. And finally, the zealot also fails with both his attacks. Tholk, the night runner, moves towards the monolith to chop a piece off. The giant rat runs towards him to protect him, and here in the close combat, the giant rat strikes first. It hits the zombie, it wounds it critically and takes it out of action. As Tholk's whole concentration is on the wheelstone, on a roll of 5, 3 new zombies appear on the board. 2 over there and 1 on the right side. Most of the zombies are just wandering around and don't find a prey. But this zombie does. On a 5 he attacks the giant rat. He hits it, he wounds it, and instantly takes it out of action. On the other close combat for the zombies against the witch hunters, the zealot he strikes first but fails with both of his attacks. Then the witch hunter he hits, he fails with his dagger but hits with the sword, he wounds, and he takes the zombie to ground as it can't be stunned. Just one close combat here for the witch hunters, as the zealot managed to take out of action the zombie that was already on the ground. With only 2 models on the table, Tholk the Night Runner tries to escape, at least with wheatstone shards protected by the giant rat. The zombies smell again fresh meat and they attack immediately. 2 of the zombies attack the giant rat, which fails the fear test, but both fail to hit, and in return also does the giant rat. One of the zombies is attacking the Night Runner, but he also fails to hit, and in return the Night Runner, which failed his fear test, also fails to hit the zombie. The 2 zombies over here and here are just wandering around. So Hubi the Zealot, he makes a normal move of 4 inches as he can't run due to the zombie being too close to him. He moves towards the board edge. Kurt, on the other hand, he stands still and uses his quickshot ability to take 2 shots at the zombie as he hasn't moved. But he's more than 4 inches away, so he suffers a -1 penalty to hit, so he only hits on 5, which gives him 1 hit. He wounds him critically, and the zombie goes to ground. The remaining Skaven models are all locked into close combat. First, the giant rat strikes against the zombie. He hits it but fails to wound it. In return, the 2 zombies strike back but fail to hit. In the other close combat, the Night Runner strikes first. He hits with his dagger, he wounds, but the cover save due to the dagger is made. With his club, he hits but fails to wound. In return, the zombie, he makes 1 hit, he wounds critically, and the poor Night Runner is stunned. This zombie fails his attack roll, so he just moves 4 inches into that direction. This zombie, as he just stood up, couldn't attack, so he also moved 4 inches towards the monolith. And the other zombies are locked into close combat, so the first zombie can just take the Night Runner out of action, who was stunned. The giant rat strikes again first against one of the zombies, but fails to hit. In return, the zombie also fails his hit. The other zombie, he gets a hit, but he fails to wound on a 1. The Zealot makes his 1 move and is almost off the table. The Witch Hunter, he moves 4 inches into that direction towards the pumpkin patches. After the loss of the Night Runner, one of their heroes, on a roll of 4+, they can bring another hero on, and on a 6 they can. So they bring on the Black Skaven Thrat. He's equipped with a set of light armor, 2 daggers, a sword, a sling, and his special abilities are Sprinter, and he got a fighting tail. Thrat comes onto the table and straight goes to the pumpkin patch to search it. On a 9 he got a trigger threat, so we have to look up in the random happening of the annual 22. On a roll of 34, it's Hands of Stone, so in an area of 3 inches it is impassable terrain until the next turn, so he can't move, which will not affect him very much this turn. Then here in the close combat, the giant rat attacks first, fails to hit. In return, the zombie, he hits, he wounds, and takes the last rat out of action. The remaining zombies were not in attacking distance. They make their random movement. Only one of the zombies has to test if he can attack, and he makes it. So he attacks the witch hunter. The witch hunter makes his fear test. The zombie he fails to hit. In return, the witch hunter he hits with the dagger but fails to wound, and with a sword he fails to hit. So Hubi makes it off the table, securing a second redstone shard for the witch hunters, and in comes Albert the flagellant. He's equipped with a dagger and a flail. Albert moves onto the board through the doorway here. The witch hunter is locked into close combat, but nothing special. Both contra hands failed to hit each other. After the last Trent was killed, and so a whole henchman group was taken out of action, on a roll of 4+, they can bring another unit on. So these are the gutter spears. So 2 Vermikin equipped with dagger, spear and sling. Srat, the black Skaven, he tries to run forward, but he doesn't make his run test. So he runs against the pillar on the 4, he is stunned. The Vermikin with the spear, he searches the pumpkin patch, and on the 4 it's again the random happenings from the annual 22. On the 56 he falls into the catacombs. He suffers a strength 3 hit, but is not wounded on a 2. He can now search the catacombs, and on a 2 he finds a small pouch with 8 gold crowns in it. But as an effect, he counts as being taken out of action for the game, but rejoins the warband for the next game. The other Vermikin also searches the pumpkin pie pouch and finds a true sight prism, so that will allow him to reroll one of the dice in the exploration phase as long as the bearer is not taken out of action. The zombies just shuffle around a little bit as no target is in range. The only zombie in close combat is taken to ground by the witch hunter as he is hit by the dagger, wounded, and then goes to ground. Albert moves forward towards the pumpkin patch to search it. On a 4, he can roll 2d6 to look how many gold he will find. In this case it is 4 gold crowns. And in the close combat over here, the witch hunter finally managed to take out of action the zombie that was already gone to ground. The black Skaven just goes from stun to gun to ground. And on this side, the Vermikin, he makes his run test, runs towards the pumpkin patch, searches it, and on a 7 he gets a mutation. So on a roll of 34 on the mutation chart, he gets fangs, so he has an additional attack with his base strength. Most of the zombies snailing around again. This one he fails his attack test on the witch hunter. The zombie over there, he makes his test and he runs into the Vermikin, who passes his fear test and strikes first with his spear. He hits, he wounds and takes the zombie to ground. With his second attack, due to the mutation with his fangs, he hits but fails to wound. Kurt, the witch hunter, makes a normal movement towards the Morrstone Monolith. Albert the flagellant, he passes his run test and runs forward towards the evil creature. Srat stands up from ground, and as he can't attack, he uses his sling on the zombie over there. He suffers, however, a -1 penalty because he's more than 4 inches away, but he managed to get a hit, a wound, and to take the zombie to ground. On the other side, the Vermikin that was locked into close combat with the zombie that was come to ground, he wounds him twice and takes the creature out of action. This zombie, as he just stood up from ground, he can't attack, so just moves 4 inches into the direction. This zombie, he attacks the flagellant. No fear test needed for the flagellant, but the zombie he strikes first, he hits but fails to wound. In return, the flagellant he hits, he wounds, and takes the zombie to ground. Another close combat here as the Vermikin is attacked again. He bravely passes the fear test on double ones. The Vermikin strikes first with his spear, he hits but fails to wound. Then the zombie he strikes back, he hits, he wounds, and takes the Vermikin to ground. Finally, Kurt gets to the monolith to chop off a piece of weirdstone. Albert, the flagellant, he strikes against the zombie who is on the ground and instantly kills him. Attracted by the witch hunter who is chopping weirdstone from the monolith, 3 new zombies arrive. One here, and one over there. The Black Skaven made his run test, and due to his sprint ability, he could run a staggering 18 inches towards the monolith. Over here, the Vermikin, who is locked into combat, as he just stood up from ground, he strikes last, but the zombie, he fails his hit. In return, the Vermikin, with his 2 attacks, he hits both. He gets 2 wounds, of 1 is critical, and he takes the zombie out of action. And again, on a roll of 6, 3 new zombies appear on the board. This time, most of the zombies, they find their prey. Beginning on this side, the all-brave Vermikin with the spear is attacked by 2 zombies, but this time he doesn't make his fear test. 1 zombie gets a hit but fails to wound. In return, the Vermikin uses his 2 attacks, 1 against each zombie, but fails to hit on double 2s. Over to this close combat, where the flagellant fights the zombie. The zombie, he hits but fails to wound. In return, the flagellant gets a critical wound and takes the zombie to ground. Then over here, Thrat, the Black Skaven, is attacked by 2 zombies. He makes his fear test on a 4. The first, the zombie, he gets a hit through, but the Skaven can't parry the hit. The other gets also a hit but fails to wound. In return, the Black Skaven, he makes 2 attacks with the daggers against the first zombie, hitting both, wounding once. The armor save due to the dagger is not made, and he takes the zombie out of action. The last attack with his sword against the other zombie is failed on a 1. Kurt uses the opportunity as no imminent danger is around. He makes a run test and runs towards the edge. In the close combat, the flagellant strikes against the zombie that is on ground. He gets a critical wound, but only manages to get him to ground again. At this stage of the game, the Skaven decide to voluntarily rout, as their few men are all locked in combat and in bad position. So the witch hunters go out as winners of this scenario. They got 2 weirdstone shards from the scenario and 4 gold crowns. In addition, by searching the city of Mordheim, they find another 5 weirdstone shards, and on a 444 they find a Fletcher, where on a 5 they get some hunting arrows. The Skaven, who get out second best of the battle, they got 1 weirdstone shard from the scenario and 8 gold crowns. By searching the city of Mordheim, they can reroll 1 dice thanks to the through-side prism they found in the game. So they reroll the 1, resulting in a 3, which means they will get a total of 4 weirdstone shards. On a 444, they find a survivor, which they can sell to Clan Ashkin to get another 10 gold crowns. No roll on the injury chart for the witch hunters, as there were no casualties for them. But there are 5 rolls on the injury table for the Skaven. First up, Tholk, the Night Runner. He got a 24, which means he got madness, and on a 2 he gets stupidity. And of the giant rats, 2 survive and the other 2 die. So lots of advancement rolls for the witch hunters, beginning on the left hand side with Kurt the witch hunter. He's got a new skill on a 3, so he chooses nimble, so he can move and shoot. The next hero is Amari the priest. On a 9 he normally would have to roll a second dice to see if he gets +1 toughness or +1 wound, but as his toughness is already 4 and cannot be greater than that, he gets +1 wound. Next up, Albert the flagellant. On the first roll he got +1 strength, but again the strength can't be greater than 4, and that he already has. So on the second roll he got a 10. Let's got talent, so he will be a hero. The next flagellant, Erish, on his first roll he got a 9, which means +1 leadership, but as his leadership is also at the maximum, he can't get that. On the second roll he got +1 strength, which isn't possible. And on the third roll he gets an 8, so +1 attack. Then up next, the 2 zealots, Ulf and Hubi, both get double 1s, which means their initiative is +1. As the flagellant moved to the hero section, he can immediately roll on the advancement table. On the 3 he gets a new skill, and he chooses step aside to give him a 5 up save in close combat, and he chooses combat and strength as the advancement tables. Only 1 roll for the Skaven. For Crook on a 9, followed up by 1, he gets +1 wound. The witch hunters, they sell 8 of their 10 weirdstone shards, giving them 120 gold crowns. Plus the 4 gold crowns they had in the bank, they are at a total of 124 gold crowns, and they will spend heavy. First, Count Humbert, he purchases a set of heavy armor. As per the house rules, this costs 35 gold crowns and gives you a +3 on the armor save. Then he searches for rare items, and on an 11 he can find a lucky charm which he purchases. Then the witch hunter Graden, he buys a helmet. He gets the light armor that Count Humbert has worn until now. He also purchases a longbow and a sword. Then Amari the priest, he also gets a helmet, and Ulf and Hubi, the 2 zealots, they both get a sword. So this is the look of the witch hunters for the next game. We are still at a maximum of 12 models, with the maximum of 6 heroes now, and a warband rating of 150. The Skaven sell 3 of their 5 weirdstone shards, giving them 50 gold crowns. With the 28 gold crowns they had in the bank, that brings them up to 78 gold crowns, and they do no purchases. And here we have the Skaven warband for the next turn. We have 16 models and a warband rating of 180. So thank you very much for watching the game. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.